So it's about a month early, but Google just released a end of year wrap up that outlines the new features that they've rolled out for their traffic source. And I'm going to link to it in the description below because it does cover their entire platform. So things like search and performance max. But in this video, I'm going to talk specifically about the features that are relevant to YouTube advertisers like us. Some of these you may have heard of. Other ones are probably going to be new to you, but all of them are going to be very valuable to you if you plan on advertising going into 2025. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Brandon Dillon with ResponseFlood.com, where we use YouTube ads to sell coaching, software, and services. Some of these features we've been using to great result for many months now, and by the looks of things are just going to get better as we go into 2025. So let's take these step by step. What I'm going to do, I'm going to present these features without any real ranking, but I will present them first starting with what will be most obviously beneficial to YouTube advertisers, and then work my way into the more, let's call them esoteric features that are going to be relevant to you as well, but might not seem to be as relevant at first glance. So first and foremost, starting with traditional YouTube campaigns, the one that I am most bullish about is what they're calling partnership ads powered by Brand Connect. And what this really means is that you can take a creator's video that you've sponsored and run it as an ad. And they've built out a framework inside of YouTube, inside of the interface, that makes this really easy and intuitive to use. Now, the reason I'm so excited about this is because, as I'm sure you're probably already aware, the biggest thing right now going into 2025 is proof. And when you're dealing and when you've sponsored a creator, essentially you're borrowing their proof, the proof that they've already developed inside of whatever audience you're working in, and leveraging it to promote your brand. So I'm very, very bullish about using this. I've already been very bullish about using creator-oriented placements, and Google is just making it much easier for us to do that with YouTube ads, which I think is quite awesome. The second thing here is related to Shorts inventory. So you probably already know this if you're running campaigns, but Shorts inventory has been a massive addition to the YouTube ads network. And historically, it's been very difficult to target just Shorts placements. The only real way to do this before was to use video reach campaigns, and that's fine. But the thing about video reach campaigns, because they're geared towards reach, they're not great for direct response. That is slightly changing. So already you can now target Shorts only inventory with video view campaigns. So these are campaigns that are focused more on views as opposed to just reach. Which is a step in the right direction towards direct response. And they're in the early stages of piloting using Shorts only for demand gen. So this is going to be right up the alley for anybody that's looking for conversions, any direct response advertisers. And yeah, I'm very excited about that as well. The next thing here is the expansion of what's going to be tallied in your view audiences. So specifically when we're talking about those that are watching your Shorts ads, they've had some pretty high filters on when determining whether or not to add that person to a viewer audience. They are now lowering that filter. So more of the people that are watching your Shorts ads will end up getting added to your viewer audiences. Now, this is great for any of us that are using a lot of remarketing, and specifically remarketing related to viewers. What you will see is that your audiences will end up growing much faster, and ultimately that means that you have more eyeballs that you can win with your remarketing promotions. And then the fourth and final of the new features related specifically to YouTube campaigns is what they're calling stickers. So these are images that are automatically pulled from your product feed and attached to your Shorts ad. When somebody clicks on it, they get brought to your product. Now, this is more relevant to e-commerce players, of course, which I am not. I only do lead gen based campaigns. But if you're running e-commerce and selling specific products, this could be a pretty cool feature for you to start testing. Now, after the YouTube campaign specific features, the next one is more related to AI, specifically the generative AI functionality that Google is trying to implement into their traffic. Specifically for YouTube ads campaigns, they have a feature that they're calling video enhancements. And what this really means is that the video that you upload for promotion, AI can automatically alter that video so that you get a wider reach. So essentially it can shorten it so that your ad can show on shorts inventory. As a side note, your video has to be 1 minute or less to show on the shorts inventory. Or it can change the dimension. So if you upload a landscape-based video, it will make it vertical. So again, it will fit better on shorts inventory. I'm not as excited about this feature. It's been around for a while. It's not something that I use because it's generally better if you just build out a dedicated video for these different platforms, for these different surfaces. But if you're in a rush, or perhaps if you're working at massive volume to the point where you can invest the resource in creating dedicated creative for each surface, this might be a feature that is worthwhile for you. Now, the last two features are related to demand gen campaigns. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this might be a little bit less intuitive because when you hear demand gen, you might not realize that this is relevant for YouTube, but it 100% is. In case you haven't heard this already, video action campaigns, which are the conversion-driven campaigns on YouTube today, are being sunset in 2025. And their replacement is demand gen campaigns. These already exist. You can already start testing them. And what's interesting about them is they're essentially a new form of bucket campaign where they're pulling in different sorts of Google inventory, Google traffic inventory into one campaign type. So you get exposure in Gmail, you get exposure in YouTube, among others. What is, in my opinion, one of the cool things about demand gen is that you can still segment out the source of ads you're using, so you have control over where your ads are showing. And specifically for us, you can segment out your campaign so that you're using video ads, so that you know that essentially your ads are running on YouTube. Now, within demand gen campaigns, there's two features that are very relevant. The first and smaller is that you do have the ability to pin video assets to specific surfaces. So what this means is, just like we were just talking about having different video creative for shorts or for in-feed or for in-stream, with demand gen, you can pin a specific creative to a specific surface. So you can upload a shorts video and make sure that that shorts video is the only one that's being used for shorts viewers. Same thing for in-feed or in-stream. So this just gives you a bit more control over your creative strategy, which ultimately is a really good thing if you want to make sure that you are making the most of your ad spend. And the second feature here, and far more powerful in my opinion, is lookalike segments. So lookalikes have been a massive, massive traffic source for Facebook advertisers for eons. And it was just this year that Google rolled out lookalikes for their platform. And it is, at least today, only available in demand gen. But again, because you're a YouTube user, you're a YouTube advertiser, this is relevant to you because you can target YouTube inventory with demand gen campaigns. And then you can create audiences based on lookalike audiences. So those are the new features. As mentioned, I will link to the source below in the description. If you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will have more content related to YouTube ads and direct response and lead generation and everything in between. So if you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.